I'm Mark Wybrow, and this is the Electronic Cafe, the channel for the lovers of electronic music.
And I'm Andy McNabb. So let's get started. So welcome to this, our latest episode of the Electronic Cafe, and what an episode we've got. We've got tons of great stuff in this one. We've got our interview with the rather brilliant Tiny Magnetic Pets talking about their new release. Mark and I had the good fortune to talk to them. Super excited to bring that to you very shortly. And then that's going to be followed by some hot stuff. So we're going to be looking at some great new albums that you really should be putting on your turntable. I know our viewers love us doing that, and we haven't done it for a while. So really glad to be bringing some great new tunes to you as well. Before we jump into our interview with the rather brilliant Tiny Magnetic Pets, don't forget the Electronic Cafe. We have a live event happening on March the 25th next year at the brilliant Water Rats venue in King's Cross. On that bill, you'll get to see National Milk Bar, Cult with No Name, and Beautiful Machines all live in the same night. It's going to be incredible. Love to see you down there. I'll ask Mark to put a link up. Get your tickets while you can. They are selling pretty fast. One more thing just before we head into the interview with TMP. If you haven't subscribed to the rather fantastic Blitz magazine, one of our partners that we love working with, you really should. It's got everything you need to keep in touch with what's going on from bands from the past and bands of today. Absolutely brilliant publication. Can't recommend it highly enough. If you haven't subscribed, as I say, you should. It's a perfect magazine for all people who love great music. Right, that's it from me. Let's go and pop over to show you that our little chat that we had with the rather brilliant Tiny Magnetic Pets.
It would need to be double vinyl as well, which is kind of going.
I'll just cross this one out. No vinyl.
Wow.
Oh.
I sit and wait on the right words. Sometimes the right ones never come. So many things that I never said. So many things I left undone.
Look, hey everyone, welcome to the Electronic Cafe, and we are joined today by our very good friends, Tiny Magnetic Pets, Paula, Sean, Eugene. Great to see you guys as always. Congrats on the latest release. It's getting some great reviews as well. You must be very happy with it.
We are indeed. Yeah.
We're really chocolate. Actually, it came out really well.
Yeah.
I like the fact as well because we spent a bit of time sequencing it, so it flows like a studio album.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah.
Because when you give your songs to other people, you know, it's up to them what they do with the stuff. So when you get them back, you don't know if it's going to flow together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got Wolfgang on there, Vince Clarke, which I managed to get a 12-inch of. You know, you got some really impressive. No, did you actually get to chat to them, Paul, or was it just kind of, you know, you gave them the stems and that you just trusted them, or did it vary by artists?
varied from track to track. We tend to like, if someone's remixing our track, let them do their thing. Otherwise, it's not a remix. It's their take on our music. We just give them the stems, and generally, the artist would send us back a track and go, "You happy with that?" And I mean, gosh, I think nearly every time we have been, because I think it's important not to, if somebody's being decent to do a remix of your track and want to do that, to let them do their thing. I mean, it's not nice to be told, "Can do this and change that and put that in there." Then what is it? You know what I mean? Spins did the whole thing. Yeah, he did this completely.
Everybody, we're amazingly hands off with things, because we tend to there's a beauty in not controlling things, just letting it go and see what happens. And we kind of tend, if someone is working with us, we tend to trust them and just let them go do what they do.
That's what we do with T&P anyway. So
we do that with each other.
We do that with each other. So
each other's ideas.
Just ignore them, and then and then we know the person.
Yeah, ignore them, and then you stumble on them something like 2 years later. Go, this is really yeah, it was really good 2 years ago, Paula. Whenever first presented,
we were on the show this last week.
I know. I found one of Eugene's things, and he doesn't even remember what it's called.
I didn't even remember doing this.
But we've always said like Stomper, you Stomper, names like working titles. So they're always like.
It's always got. Crowd rock, crowd stomper, crowd laser. My pièce de resistance for a working title, crowd roxy. I kind of like that's my. You haven't heard that yet, by the way. It's about 9 minutes.
Do you think all this automation will make your life better?
But you have to give them a free hand, really, don't you? Because you can't be too dictating in it, because you want to get a nice surprise back. You want to see how they interpret it and what they send back. I mean, I've heard stories of, like, mentioning no names, some big bands that hand over stuff to remix, and the guitarist wants to keep my guitar in there, and the drummer wants a bit of it, and there's only a limitation about what they can do. But it's good if you can give them the song, and what you get back is a reinterpretation, and it must be exciting for you guys.
No, it is, yeah. It's with those remixes, like, every one of them, it was sometimes, like in previous kind of bands I've had remixes, we just got it's not good. But these ones were all kind of, and they all strangely managed to fit together. And I think the remodeled tracks kind of help that flow.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it does work as a complete trip of an album. You just put it on from the start, and then it just carries you right through. I think the ending is gorgeous. I think in a way, because the way we work as well is the start of the album, the end of the album is just as important as the beginning of the album. Because by the end of the album, ideally, you want the listener to hit play again to start, go back to the start.
With the collaborations you got, Sean, guys, did you actually go to them? Did they come to you? Was it a kind of two-way thing? How did you decide on the collaborators? I mean, I know you've worked with Wolf before.
It's kind of through different avenues. Like, I was doing a song. I was working for one guy to do a vocal, and then I was just sending up some over the album. That was for Crass, and then he just said, "Oh, do you mind if I remix that song, Drowning in Indigo?" And then Wolfgang obviously came just through kind of chatting. The Bowsy one we asked. No, they contacted us about doing a remix. We kind of left that for their two Irish guys. Then we were all just kind of chatting back and forth, and they said, "Look, we'd love to remix something." So we suggested a few things, and they picked up in Blue Wave and wanted to do that.
The John Gibbons one was from the Keith, who had the first label with the first album came out on. He organised that one.
I don't know who the hell Victor Vector and Rookies of a Madman are. Like, no idea who they are.
Fran Eagle.
Two weird guys.
Did they choose the songs to remix as well, or did you supply the songs?
No, we just let them choose them. We just let them. I think Vince asked what song would we want to remix. And
I think at the time we just sent them Automation.
And we just said Automation. That was going to be the single, so we thought that one would be.
Sure.
See, that's the beauty of being hands off with it as well, because you're not kind of working on what ifs. What do you do? Oh, do that bit, or just tweak that bit. And it's just, I don't know. I mean,
well, providing you like everything, we've been fortunate that we've liked everything that we've got. We have had one or two remixes in the past that were really freaking lazy. I have to be honest, and not good.
Yeah,
You know, in past, going back a bit. So
yeah,
certain key
like
parts wouldn't have been used and stuff, you know. So you kind of go, why? What's, you know?
Yeah,
that was fantastic. So.
I don't like when someone takes a track and just you feel like they just put. It's like got nothing to do with the song. It's like something they had written and they just take in one tiny thing. I don't like that. I like them to interpret.
Yeah. A bit of thought gone into the process.
Reach out or call me. I'm happy when I'm leaving.
Well, I was like in the 90s, like remixes, they just tended to take the drums out, put a dance beat onto it, and they was like, they was all the same. They was all quite lazy, just with like a dance beat on it. But that's what I like about this album, because I really like the more laid back and the slower ones.
Yeah.
The spinning, spaced. I mean, I like those ones as well as, you know, the kind of 4 to the floor dance mixes.
Yeah.
And Drowning in Indigo as well. I mean, I like the slower versions.
That came about because we were toying with the idea of just doing a whole kind of remodel of the first album and call it Bride of Tiny Magnetic Pets. And but we never really got round to it. So we had kind of remodeled Spinning for live, and there was another version of Boom Boom Boom, which was Victor Vector's Funked Up Acid House remix, but Victor Vector never delivered on the final mix. So,
but Spinning's lovely because it's just literally kind of sweeping synths and Paula's voice. I mean, it's kind of a really nice version.
It's a lovely feeling when you're playing it live.
Yeah.
It's good with the beat in it because you know, Paula used to go on about doing more ambient stuff live. But then she stands on stage and she can't jump around to it because there's no beats.
I do like a bit of
And in terms of the album itself, so I guess I've seen it on Bandcamp. Can I get it direct from you guys as well, our viewers, or is it just from Bandcamp?
Bandcamp is the official release date's not until November the 18th, but we have a limited edition of kind of signed copies that we're selling through Bandcamp.
Yeah. And then after that, so on the 18th, day for my birthday, is that going to be just on Bandcamp as well, or through online, or for you guys directly? What's the options?
Just keeping it directly from us. At the moment, because we get all the money.
Exactly. That's why I said what I said. So you guys deserve to get all the money. You make it.
But it just kind of makes it simple. Also, we've got other kind of things that we're kind of working on at the moment. So, organizing the whole kind of thing, like, well, we can't do a vinyl release because it takes too long.
Yeah, Dan, that was my next question.
No,
as you'd expect from me and Mark.
It would need to be double vinyl as well, which is kind of going.
I'll just cross this one out. No vinyl.
Oh.
I mean, that's expected. I mean, the people we've spoken to, I think when we spoke to you sort of 18 months ago, the delay for Blue Wave was extensive, and I think it's only got worse. I think people now
Well, see, what's happening is all the major labels are just hogging all the pressing plants. I mean, how many remixes or how many remasters of Rumors or whatever can you do? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous, man. Personally, I don't buy those things anyway. I mean, I get it. If I'm going to buy a vinyl album, a classic vinyl album, I want
the original.
Art originally appeared. I got Fuzz 4, absolute classic album, and I got a remastered CD, and it's unlistenable. They no noised it, and it just actually changed the whole sound of the album.
Yeah.
Extrasensory perception doesn't help much when you're drifting all alone. And I fear that nothing's gonna stop me. So I just keep
So going back to remix remodel, that is a little nod to Roxy Music, I guess. The title.
Everything comes back to Roxy Music. Like that song we were playing live off Point of Collapse. I can never remember its title. Falling Apart in Slow Motion.
Yeah,
that's working type was Roxy thing, right? And I every time it starts, I'm just waiting to go. It's just to me, it just reminds me of Virginia Plain. It's just the start of it. And I was tempted to kind of do a slide guitar bit in at that point, but I said, no, it's too obvious. But yeah, there's loads of Roxyisms turn up all the time, and they're accidental, not intentional.
And I understand that you did the album cover, Sean.
Oh yeah, that was
That's a good. I like the album cover. Yeah.
Well, see, that would have been my day job. So I kind of because when you're doing your own album covers as well, they're
stand up and be proud of me.
There isn't somebody else going, this is like going to be, this is going to, if this album cover isn't good, it's going to kill our album, sort of thing. Is you tend to get with bands on their first single and things like that on major labels. No, it was what was interesting about that was that I took an existing photograph and I was planning initially for a poster, and it was initially Eugene, but he looked like. So the first one was Andropov, the guy who's head of Russia, but I did some reading up on him, and
he didn't really look as good.
Not a nice. So we just thought, I don't want this person on the poster. So we had Eugene on there. Then it looked like North Korean propaganda. So that was just. And then I thought, right, I'm not going to put myself on it. So try.
Last resort.
Paula was the last call. Yeah, so we better use her. So I wanted to kind of convey the idea that it was kind of like a mashup thing, so hence the torn paper, and
it's nice.
That's good. I like it. I mean, I'm sure Paula was always first choice. I know what these singers are like because they're quite demanding, I think.
You don't like getting singers or face on the album.
When Andy was our singer, things we had to do.
The stories Mark could tell you. Seriously.
For a remix album, it hits the mark. It's a really good cover. It's really good.
So the actual official release is November 18th. You can buy it from me. We'll get a link put up on here as well if you can send it to us. So if it's straight to the site to page to buy the album, we'll pull that up when this goes out as well. Any more tours beyond this short visit to the UK for next year being planned?
We come home for about a week and a half, and then we're going to Oberhausen, just about 30 minutes from Dusseldorf, to support Mesh, and quite a big gig over there. And then we come back for about another week, 2 weeks, and then I'm going over to do a gig with Rusty.
I saw that. Yeah, the Pizza Express.
So, James Halliwell, who's worked with Florence and the Machine, and the Waterboys. He's going to be accompanying me playing piano apparently, and then David Brooks wrote the song with Gary Newman's keyboards with Rusty Egan. So there's going to be a good few people at that. Eric from Cult with No Name. So I've never played at Rusty's Pizza night before. So it's in Pizza Express in Holborn, but I don't know, have you been there? It's supposed to be.
Yeah, me and Mark hosted the last one for him, so it was like electronic cafe with Rusty, and we put
it's supposed to be a nice venue and everything. So
it's an auditorium downstairs, so it's a proper thing. So me and Andy hosted the last one. We did the Q&A with Rusty, and we kind of
Are you coming down to this one, I hope, then?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, this one he hasn't. I think we're on the blacklist. He hasn't even asked us this time. So.
Oh, you're on my list.
But yeah, I mean, we could come down because we know Eric as well. We know Eric quite well. So, I mean, Eric, Cult with No Name are playing on our Electronic Cafe Live, so we know Eric. So we'll come down and have a pizza with you.
Exactly.
That'll be good.
Just on a new music front, I mean, obviously you're busy making your own, but is there anything out there, your new stuff that you're listening to tell our viewers about?
Not new, it's about five years old. Jane Weaver, Amber Night.
Yeah.
It's the only thing. I don't have Spotify. I kind of use someone else. Right. And it's the only time that an algorithm threw up something. I really can't stand these things. Oh, you like this? You will also like that. Invariably, I don't. It threw that up. I thought, who's Jane Weaver? And I thought, oh, that's an interesting title. I'll have a look. Nice cover as well.
That's the one you got on vinyl.
Yeah, I got it on vinyl. I bought it on vinyl. It's absolutely stunning album. It's the kind of thing that's that you kind of aspire to. It's got kind of like synth-pop songs, got a krautrock influence, got a psychedelic influence, and there's one song. It's on the CD and on Spotify. It isn't on the vinyl. I think it's called "Your Time in This Earth Is Limited" or something like that. And it's the greatest song Kate Bush never wrote.
Oh, wow.
And it's just absolutely fantastic, the whole album. But the album's got, and we try to do this with ours as well. And again, you go back to the whole Kate Bush thing and Pink Floyd and all that, where you try to get a kind of an atmosphere. You try to convey a mood for the whole album to the listener. And this Jane Weaver album does that perfectly. It's absolutely fantastic. It turns out she's got about 8 albums. I think she's married to Andy Votel.
Yeah.
From Twisted Nerve. So he's on the album as well. But it's absolutely, plus it starts with a 3-minute kind of analog synth kind of drone thing, which segues into an 8-minute krautrock kind of song thing. So it's brilliant. Production is fantastic. There's ideas going on. There's kind of. I really got on this album, by the way, just in case you didn't.
I did notice. She brought out an album last year as well. John, worth checking out. I'll send you the title of it, which I loved.
Apart from that, I just rediscovered Thomas Dolby, the Golden Age of Wireless. Hadn't listened to it in ages, and I've been playing it to death. And the Stephen Wilson.
Yeah. Future Bites. We posted Golden Age of Wireless, I think, because it's 40 years old this year, isn't it? So, it's a great album.
The next one was my favorite, Flat Earth. But no, the Golden Age of Wireless is definitely. Yeah. I'm sorry to always be in the zone, but I don't know why they butchered the cover of the Flat Earth for the CD version. It's just, I didn't even notice it at first. If you look at the vinyl cover and look at the CD cover, it's why did they do that to the cover?
Even the Golden Age of Wireless, I think there's about 5 different versions with different tracks on it and different track running orders.
Yeah. I got the one I have's got Cheap Bang Science on it, which is not the original.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. On the remix album, I know it's like children. There's no favourites, but what is your favourite song if you have one?
On the remix one,
Spinning is nice. I think. Well, I think.
Yeah.
I go for the Radio On, the Outer Nationality thing. It's just banging. It's just, there's just something about it. I love the way he cut up the vocal, the war, dance, joy, fashion, and the way it bounces with the echo on it, and then he puts a very Kraftwerk vocoder on it.
Yeah.
No, I just love it because it actually says Kraftwerk and Chemical Brothers to me at the same time. So it was a nice kind
I
of.
guess it depends on your mood as well. I mean,
It does. It does. Yeah.
kind of track if you're kind of in that kind of mood. But I think spinning would be my favourite on that.
Yeah, I love Space. I just think it's fantastic. But I also love the dub style of Drowning in Indigo. I just think that's amazing. I'm a big dubby fan anyway. I always did love it. But that's great. But mixture of those at the moment.
They're my ones. On my list, I've got Spinning, Space, Drowning in Indigo, the Spatial Dub, and Here Comes the Noise.
Oh, yes. That's really nice.
Yeah, playing around with the end section of that. They got Eugene just sent me that ambient end section. So something will probably a new song will probably come out. I just love that. The way it flows.
Just a story. I was gonna do a remix of what you call it?
Klein
Farben, and
very brave man trying to remix an
instrumental, and I had no idea for it really, and then I just but then I was messing around with the bass line, and then we got a kind of a new idea just from speeding up the bass line and doing different things, you know. So it depends on, you could get a remix, but then we got a new song from it, you know.
Yeah, so it's called Friends in Low Places. Yeah, that came out really well. Sorry, I just noticed something. You also do all those stems and everything. You didn't have an idea.
Yeah, I just go with the flow. I just go with the,
I love doing stems.
We really love the album. It's a great thing for you to put out.
Yeah, great. Everybody did a great job on it. This was like,
yes, thanks to everybody.
So we will advertise it, and of course we'll see you at the end of next week.
You will indeed.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you guys as always, and say big congrats on the album. We love it. We're going to promote the hell out of it, and we'll get a link up on this episode for people to go and buy it. It'll be amazing.
Thanks again for a brilliant show. You did a brilliant job.
As always, thank you.
We've not got to go and sign them all next.
Will you be selling them at the show?
Yes.
You bring some physical copies, okay? So
I will get one there then.
We'll try and nab one there, so save on the postage.
Yep.
And then we've a pizza date the end of November as well.
Yes,
okay.
We'll see you there. Yeah, it's a good thing.
We do have some other stuff coming up, so we'll keep you posted.
Oops.
We have a collaboration coming up, and it's kind of.
I'll see you.
It's sounding really nice.
You said that last time before the Vince Clarke thing, and then
we just got the message just before we went on stage, and we've been working on it. It sounds really. I think it's a hit. It's a hit single. It's
really
worked really well. Be a bit of a surprise. There were people here, but it's.
You're going to get all our audience going. What?
we're going. What?
Yeah, we're both going. What?
It's not finished yet, but yeah.
But then didn't you get the heads up at the front 242 gig?
Yeah, but we have to do it then.
But then we had to kind of hear it. Yeah, it was kind of brilliant. Let's do a collaboration. Excellent. But then we had to kind of like start working together to just make sure it kind of worked. Okay.
Yeah.
And it did. It kind of worked. It worked brilliantly.
Because somebody can say, say you're right, and say, we do a collaboration. That's all well and good saying that, but then obviously it has to work.
Yeah.
And we both have to like it and be into it, and everyone's got to be happy.
So without giving too much away, when would you hope it would be out? I'm just thinking, just in terms of us.
It'll be next year.
Probably
October.
Early next year.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? Of course, yeah.
Because this person's really busy.
Big team.
I'm so dying to tell us. Call me later, Sean.
Una's glaring at you, saying, "Don't say too much."
Well, we can't wait to hear what it is and when it's coming out, and let us know. And obviously, we'll end up. I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Keep safe. Have a safe journey. We'll see you next week. Yeah.
See you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so welcome to our long overdue hot stuff section where Mark and I are going to bring you 4 albums we're absolutely loving right now. My first recommendation is now a friend of the Electronic Cafe, the one and only brilliant Blancmange, obviously Mr. Neil Arthur with his new album, Private View. This album really focuses on the here and now, but it also kind of sounds like Neil's planning for the future. I noticed when we spoke to him, he said he doesn't like to look back. He always likes to look forward. And this album, so it's not depressing in any shape or form, but it's an album full of really personal, interpersonal problems. Musically, the keyboards and guitar set a fantastic mood throughout this. I think from the opening song, What's Your Name? I'm trying to remember what it's called then, with its mellow keyboards, and then right through to the last piano note on the album. Neil and his company or musicians utilise sound uniquely, I think. With every track, you shouldn't get too comfortable because there are surprises everywhere. Even with this opening track, say, What's Your Name, the guitars come in and turn the song sideways. I think even to the end of the album, there's a beautiful piano on Take Me, keyboards, there's guitars that combine to make one of the best melodies that I think Neil's ever done. The song it's heartbreaking, but it's a song of survival and strength. And I think it potentially provides a warning about relationships. It's a brilliant achievement. The sparse music, simple yet plaintive lyrics. Neil, I think, musically and lyrically is a genius. And I say the last track, Take Me, is just a brilliant end to this album. This is like a crown achievement over a 40-year career. I think for me, with each album, and there are many, I mean, Neil's output is ridiculous. The albums get better and better. I think this is an album that, from an artist who knows how to use his remarkable talent to tell stories and explore not only his own emotions, but almost talk about the impact of the world around him. Total genius. Thoroughly recommended album. Great job, Mr. Arthur. Absolutely great job.
I'm lost without love.
My first Hot Stuff album choice is this, Hideous Bastard by Oliver Sim. Hideous Bastard is the debut solo album from Oliver Sim, vocalist and bassist of the band DXX. Hideous Bastard is his deeply self-confessional journey of fear and shame where Sim bears his soul and discloses many kept secrets, including the revelation of his HIV status and his love for queer horror movies. Every song is a winner, but when Jimmy Somerville appears as his fairy godmother on Hideous and Oliver bears his soul, it's hairs on the back of the neck time. Hideous Bastard is a fascinating listen into the XX's most private band member and his mind. It's an honest, emotional and ambitious debut full of surreal poppy synths, smoky sultriness and meandering beats. Jamie XX produces the album with an elegant touch and the beauty is in the detail. This is Oliver Sim at his most confident and exploring the most uncharted territory. On our recent trip to Germany with Mark Reeder, after dinner we did a spot of midnight record shopping. This album was playing in the record shop and none of us spoke, but queuing up to pay at the end of the night at the till, we all had this album under our arm. This is already shaping up to be one of my favourite albums this year, an absolute stunner. I already think is possibly a future classic. Go check it out.
And my second album is the rather enjoyable Heartware by Italo Brutalo. It is a great, great album. I kind of found this searching through some stuff. I think it was on Bandcamp. Played a couple of tracks, fell in love with it straight away, ordered this. You know, really, and just before I get into the music, beautifully packaged. Obviously, the guy's got a massive association with tech from the 80s and 90s, and there's a reason for that, which I'll explain later. But yeah, even just as soon as it's arrived, I knew I was going to like it. It's quite clear this guy's a big love for machines and making sonic creations through the power that lies in those sort of button-studded boxes. I think Mark had something like this back in the day. This has apparently been a longed-for debut. This guy's built up quite a good reputation for bringing out great music before the album's released. So obviously, when this has been rumoured that this was coming out, there was a lot of people really keen to see this come out. It's a 12-track voyage across, I think, probably 25 years plus of intense synth collecting. And I read in some of the notes, some of this hardware that he's got has been passed from his dad. So I was just thinking, this guy's got a very cool dad. Throughout these 12 tracks that compose of or make up Heartware, there's a feeling of retro gazing, and there's like a playful joy in this album. I think he invites us to witness firsthand his own textbook smorgasbord of fast-wheeling arpeggios and sort of vocoders. And you get visions of things like dystopian digital sunsets by the beach, and there's tinges of early hip-hop in here. Definitely, that's abound. And of course, the hardware used in making this album, Heartware, played a massive part in the creation of this album, driven by Italo Brutalo's own soul as well. And you can feel it in the music. There's a lot of love gone into this album. There's like the ideas behind this album have been there and waiting to find their way out for over 25 years, probably, with all the collection of hardware this guy's got. The pressure levels of this album never falter. It kind of makes you want to think, want to dance. I think more importantly, enjoy life. This is, as I say, released in a neat double vinyl gatefold package, and it presents the whole concept and the machines involved in the making, including there's a 12-page booklet in here featuring all the key pieces of technology that Italo Brutalo used to make the album. I've had the odd conversation with him already, telling him that I'm a fan, and he sounds like a top man himself, and I really hope he comes to the UK soon. So, Italo, if you're watching this, come to the UK, my friend. We want to see you live. Thoroughly recommended. Great, great album. Check it out.
My second Hot Stuff album choice is EBM by Editors. I've been a fan of Editors since their debut album The Back Room in 2005, with the classic songs Munich and All Sparks, and a particular favourite of mine was their third album, a sharp left turn of an album called In This Light and On This Evening, where they ditched guitars for synthesizers. Hard to pigeonhole and never a band to do what's expected, their seventh studio album, EBM, is an album that should appeal to both long-term fans of the group's epic post-punk sound and anyone who perked up with their use of robust electronics. Editors are a band that constantly take risks. EBM is just that, very left field, full-bodied electro rock and an evolution that makes perfect sense. And EBM, if you were wondering, is an acronym for Editors Blank Mass, their last electronic album. The album is solid, assured, ambitious, theatrical, epic and even outrageous. Check out Heart Attack, the lead single, or the super synth anthem Kiss in particular. At 53 minutes and just 9 songs, this record is on fire, a relentless assault. The production is top notch with huge drums and synths and guitars throughout. Editors are back. They're in the game, and if you haven't already, go check this album out, investigate it. It's a classic one.
Burner cores in my almond fight. We were always meant for this. Shot through the dark, my reason to exist. Wow. No one will love you more than I do. I can promise you that.
So that's it for another episode of the Electronic Cafe. I hope you enjoyed our chat with the fabulous Tiny Magnetic Pets, Paula, Sean, Eugene. As always, thank you for coming on the show and being a friend of ours. We love having you on here. Also, hope you like the hot stuff albums that Mark and I recommended. Let us know what you think. And yeah, we hope to see you soon on the Electronic Cafe. There's lots of good stuff coming. You don't want to miss it. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks for watching the Electronic Cafe. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.